Welcome to the Breaking 90 podcast, where we talk about all things sustainable fat loss. We take people on 90-day journeys to creating fat loss forever. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the episode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Breaking 90 podcast. I'm your host, Alex Harriman, here with my co-host, Kelly Sarlo, and we are two of the coaches of Breaking 90 Fitness. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy today's episode. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What's new in your world?
I was listening to an interesting, I guess it was like a reel that I stumbled across this woman, and then I started watching a lot of her videos and what she does, and she teaches financial literacy and well-being for children. And I was like, oh, this is a really cool topic. And something she does that I think is kind of neat, but it's controversial, is she pays the kids, like they get like a wage, so they have scheduled days that they get like their pay, and then she has different like jars or envelopes or whatever you will for different things, and they have to pay rent, they have to pay for food, they have to pay for utilities, things like this, and she only charges them $1 per month for each of these, but it forces them to be like, oh, that bill's coming due, like I have to pay it. So they learn like how to pay a bill, and I'm like, this is really freaking cool. And there was a lot of people that were like, well, what are you going to do if your kid doesn't pay the rent on time? You're going to kick them out? And she's like, no, they're kids. Like, of course I'm not. But like, then we'll have that conversation when that time comes. And she's like, since we've implemented this, they haven't missed a rent payment. So she's like, I think she pays them like $6 a week. And each of these things costs like $1 per month. And so they'll have leftover dollars that they can use to put into, she has like savings accounts, investing accounts, which is cool. They can learn about like compound interest, a giving account where they can like explore different donations and things they can give their money to. I'm like, this is pretty freaking cool. I want to go further down the rabbit hole, but I could totally see myself doing this.
I love it. Can we talk more about this?
Sure. What else do you want to talk about?
Cool. No, I just meant like, can we sit down and talk
Oh,
about
yeah. I thought it was like, this is what we're talking about on today's podcast.
Financial literacy on your health and fitness podcast. No, I love personal responsibility. I love financial literacy. I have a good friend of mine who actually does education on finances to make conversations more accessible, because as much as we learn math, we don't really learn, the relevance of money and budgeting. Unless you've got, someone in your family who's just having that conversation with you and passing it down. It's not in the school system, right?
Totally.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was super cool. And like, I couldn't get over the amount of hate, obviously, like any social media, but the amount of hate people were giving her. And it's just like, shut up.
Yeah. I thought, what's that thing called when you screw up your sayings?
A Malaphor.
A Malaphor. I thought you were going to use a Malaphor to be like, well, if the kid doesn't pay rent, we'll burn that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, too funny. All right, what do you have for us today?
We're just getting into the time of year where I think it's worth talking about preparing for summer, because it's people are gonna be like, what, already? But this is the time. Like, for those of you listening to this is the time to take real action before summer, so that you're not trying to do like a 12-day diarrhea tea cleanse leading into summer, hoping that you're gonna make real change. If you want to actually change things, like, this is the time to start wrapping your head around that.
I think I snorted. I thought you misspoke, but you literally meant a tea that makes you go.
Yeah. Well, a lot of like detoxes and cleanses just give you diarrhea. And like, for those of you listening to this, like, your body detoxes and cleanses, like, that is what your organs do for your body. Give them proper food and give them proper nutrients and hydration, and they will do that for you. You don't need a tea or a juice or a pill to do that.
This is off to a really good start. I'm enjoying this. Okay, so someone comes to you and says, Alex, summer's coming, opposite of winter's coming. What can I do to help myself get summer ready?
I like taking these types of things and working backwards, like these types of situations and working backwards. So I encourage people to do this when you plan a trip, when you have a wedding coming up, when you have like a specific event that you want to be ready for, whatever that looks like for you. Obviously, that's different from person to person. So I want you to look at what you want by summertime and work your way backwards to now, instead of being like, okay, starting today I need to eat chicken and broccoli and work out 5 times a week, because that's like, it's like, for what and where is it taking us becomes a lot harder to define. Make sense?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so figure that out first. Look at, first of all, like, what is summer to you? When is summer to you? For some people, that's like your August vacation. For other people, that's like the last day of school, June 28th or whatever that is. So figure out when this date is for you and what you want that to look like. And so as you do that, are you going to continue making progress in the summer, or do you want to be ready by summer and then able to just maintain through summer? Because those are two real options and neither one of them is wrong, but you got to be realistic about it. So do you want to get to summer, be ready and then maintain the whole way through, or do you want to get to summer like almost at your goal and keep progressing through the summer?
Love that.
Anything you want to ask or add there?
Not yet. I think these are great ways to think about or approach summer.
Okay, and if you're choosing the one that's like, no, by like June 29th, I want to be almost there, but I'll keep progressing through July and August, like that's fine, but is it realistic for you? Like with the things you have planned in the summer and the activities you normally partake in the summer, is it realistic for you to keep making progress? Or is realistic for you, no, I'm probably just going to maintain? I don't want you to say I'm going to regress. That is a dumb thing to just like commit to, but it's what a lot of people do. And if it happens to you, that's fine. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it, right?
Yep.
But we don't plan for that. We either plan for progress or we plan for maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Great attitude.
Okay. And neither's wrong. They both have their time and place. So then we start working backwards. So I like small incremental changes. I like not to turn your whole world upside down. So what I want to do is when we've kind of determined what we want to, for a lot of you it's going to be body composition, but I don't want to just say it's body composition because it's not for everybody. But if we want to look a certain way or be able to complete a certain physical event or race or something like that, okay, this is where I want to be. Then what we need to start doing is saying, what would need to happen for me to do that? So like, if I want to complete a 10K race and right now I'm not running at all, then it's like, okay, well, I need to physically be able to run 10 kilometers by that date. That's a no-brainer, right? If I want to be 5% body fat less than I am right now, I know I'm going to have to clean up my nutrition. I'm going to have to start eating more protein. I'm going to have to start strength training, whatever you want to kind of right now, highlight the gap between where you are and where you want to go so that we can start creating the actions, the necessary actions that it's going to take to get us there. Cool?
Perfect.
Okay. Once we have those actions, then this actually becomes really, really easy, because then what we do is we put our end goal actions into place. Okay, so by June 29th, I want to be drinking 3 liters of water, and I want to be running at least, we'll say 14 kilometers per week total. So broken up into my 3 or 4 workout runs that I do. So those are like 2 big things I know I'm going to need to do to get to my goal. Then what I can do is start breaking it back in 5 to 10% increments. So if I need and want to be doing 14 kilometers per week at the end of June, the week before that, I'm going to be I like 10% less than that. I'm going to be around 13. So I need to be doing at least 13 kilometers. The week before that, I'm going to be doing at least 12 kilometers. The week before that, 11, 10. And I'm going to start going back in 5 to 10% layers to get to where I am now, which hopefully, if you're preparing far enough in advance, is going to be very reassuring and make you feel good about your action plan. Because if you work your way back now and you're like, oh sweet, I don't technically need any kilometers right now, so anything I do now is bonus. It's going to make this gap even smaller, because 5 to 10% is kind of the most you want to be jumping per week. But if you can make that gap even smaller, you're laughing. So if you work that all the way back to now and you don't need any, then it's like, great, I can start with some long walks, I can start with some light jogs, I can start with some intervals, and I can slowly start building on that. And then 14 kilometers per week is going to be a breeze by the end of June. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Same thing with your nutrition goals, with your water goals, with your sleep goals. Any way you do it, we should start far enough out that when we break it back to where we are, it's like laughably, I don't know if that's a word, I think it is, laughably easy task to complete, easy task to check off the list. Because every time we set a goal, we need to break it down into actions and tasks, not just a goal.
Love it.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, what's on your mind? What do you think?
I love everything that you've said, and I think I just have no buts involved. Let me reword this. I'm gonna say, like, sign up, put the deposit down, put the down payment, or not down payment, put the actual money down, pay for the membership, pay for the league fee, pay for the thing that you say you want to do in summer, because I hear so many people say, yeah, this summer I'd really like to. Yeah, this summer it'd be really great if. And it's all of this very lofty language. And it really, what I think means, don't hold me to it. Don't tie me to this goal. I'm going to say it, but if I don't follow through, I don't want to be held accountable.
Not
Right?
a big deal.
Like, yeah, so it's like, go get the tennis membership. Call them today, ask them when you can sign up, pay for it. If they say it starts in May or June, great. You've got the membership paid for. And we see time and time again across every single industry, paying for something makes it hurt if you don't follow through and quote unquote get your money's worth, right? So,
and for just to piggyback that, like, if you have the ability, pay for it in full. Like, don't break it into payments, don't put a down payment, don't make it a monthly membership. If you have the ability, which I know that's not always the case, pay for the whole thing, fully commit to the process.
I love that. And it's a little different than buying the gear. I'll say this. I think some people are really excited to go out and buy the gear that they need. That doesn't always hurt as much if it sits in your closet and you don't get to it, so much as buying the membership where you have nothing, if that makes sense. And I'm guilty as charged. Just before COVID hit, my dad actually treated me to tennis gear and a membership. We went and got all the tennis gear, the world shut down, right? And it was just like, okay, it's been sitting in my closet. I don't really feel a whole lot of pain about it. I'll get to tennis whenever I want to. But had I actually had to go out and shell out the membership, I would have made the effort to get my ass into that arena and like learned a few things.
Totally. Yeah, I like it.
It's a different level of commitment. Yeah, and a different kind of accountability, especially, right? If people are calling you and being like, you still gonna come? Like, your name is down, you've still got 3 lessons. It's just a good thing to think about. The other thing too is I think the commitment like that itself forces you to time manage, because that also means you're making room in your schedule Tuesdays and Thursday nights or whatever it might be at 6 p.m. to have the conversation with your partner or, kid coverage to say, I need help on these nights because I'm going to be out doing these things, right? You start to really put things in motion when you've actually made the payment.
So while we're on that topic of accountability, like, this is a perfect time to segue into find other people who are on the same journey as you. If you can identify your goals and identify them far enough out, you can probably find people who want to achieve something similar. It doesn't need to be the exact same thing, but it's way freaking easier to complete tasks and goals when you've got other people doing it with you. So find friends that want to do this with you, find family that wants to do this with you. And if you don't have that, look for a program, look for something like if you on our example, it's like a body composition. If you have body composition goals that you want to achieve, sign up for something like Breaking 90, where you've got a whole bunch of people on a similar journey completing the same things as you day in, day out, that you can lean on and be around when they're winning, when they're losing, when you're all struggling together, and when you're all coming together to win together. Like, this is what makes it so much easier for you guys. If you want to run a Spartan race, like, find other people that want to run a Spartan race. Like, this, I promise you, this will make your goals easier, and it's also going to hold you accountable a lot better than being like, no, well, I didn't do this race, but like, nobody really was checking in on me, and nobody really cared if I did this race.
Yeah, love that.
I think, like any goal setting now, we've done podcasts in the past about goal setting, so you could go back and watch those, but just make sure that what you want to achieve has importance and has depth to the importance of it. It's not just like, oh, I want to be lean this summer. Like, that's fine if you want to be lean this summer, but why do you want to be lean this summer? Why is that important to you? What's that going to change for you? How's that going to affect your life? Like, ask those deep questions and go back and watch our goal setting podcasts and the ones we've done in the past if you want to get further into this. But just saying, like, I want to be lean for this summer on Friday night when that pizza is looking really good probably isn't enough to stop you from eating that pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you're like, lean's a tough one, because we can have any number of reasons why we want to get lean. But when we're talking about losing weight for health, or changing our body for health, and because we have a family history of health effects, and because we want to live longer, healthier, better lives, because we want to be around for our kids, for our grandkids, for ourselves, like these when we can get deeper than, yeah, I just want the bathroom scale to go down, these are the kinds of things that are going to make that pizza a little bit less appealing, that are going to make you more comfortable with having 2 slices of pizza instead of 6 slices of pizza, right? So have those difficult conversations and do the 7 layers of why that we recommend when you lay out a goal. Why do I want this? Why is that important to me? Why is that important to me? Keep going down that rabbit hole until you might not get to the end, but until those meanings have a lot of depth and importance to them.
You're reminding me too, like, one of the elements when I'm doing goal setting with any client is, make sure that the goal that you're setting, the alternative isn't nothing, right? So when we talk to clients and they say, well, I want to work out, great. Tell me more, get more specific, because the alternative is you don't work out. If you said to me, I want to work out 3 to 4 times a week, and in the first couple weeks of the program, you're working out twice, we're well on our way to our goal, and that is worth celebrating, versus just saying, I work out now, and you haven't done it at all, right? So even for some people who are getting summer ready and they're saying, like, well, I want to be able to stand up paddleboard, and I want to be able to do the hikes when I'm out at my cottage. Okay, great. The alternative is you don't paddleboard and that you don't go hiking. So what do you actually want to do within those activities? Do you want to be able to get up on your paddleboard and not have your hamstrings cramp for 4 days afterwards because you have weak, lower body? Do you want to be able to hike and not have sore feet? Do you want to be able to keep up at a certain pace with someone, right? Like, there's kind of got to be other little goals within the goal, so that it's actually worthwhile. Because I know you've said this to me before. If I said to you, Alex, you know what? My goal is that I get up and run a 5K. I could do that today. It would be very painful. It would take me a while, and I'd probably need 2.5 weeks to recover from it. But I could do it. But like, that doesn't require me to pay attention to, do I need strength training? Do I need, endurance training? What do I need in my body to, as we're talking about, get ready so that we can run it without injury, without compromising, the
Yeah.
recovery period, etc.
And being like happy with your results.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
This is like, from a body composition standpoint, this is like, yeah, I could wear a bathing suit, versus like, yeah, I'd feel really confident and happy with what I've achieved wearing that bathing suit. Like, that's the difference there. I could run that 5K, but I would be disappointed in my performance.
Yeah, exactly.
And this, guys, this is the importance of backtracking your goal the way that I said. So if the goal's far out, then what Kelly said is bang on. We should break it down. I like breaking things down into 90 days from now and 30 days from now, and chunking the actions for the next 30 days. And if I do this for the first 30 days, this for the second 30 days, and this for the third 30 days, that's going to get me to the 90-day landmark, which will be 1 quarter closer to my goal, wherever that goal is in advance. But the beauty of doing it far enough out is that these chunks are like, oh yeah, I can smash this. Like, during this next 30-day chunk, I've got to do like 3 kilometers of walking each week, and I need to increase my hydration slightly, and I need to increase my protein slightly, and I need to prioritize sleep a bit. And it's like, oh, I can knock that out of the park, rather than waiting until right before and trying to drink those diarrhea detox teas.
We have circled back to diarrhea. Love it. That's great. I love all of this.
Awesome. Well, that is all I have for you. Actually, I'm just going to leave with one closing nutrition tip, is that we talk about Greek yogurt a lot as like a high protein source choice for snacks and treats and stuff, because I know how much Kelly likes it. I don't want to forget to mention cottage cheese, because it's super high protein, it's super nutrient dense, it's a great protein choice. A lot of people are like, I don't like cottage cheese. Like, find a way to like it, because it's really versatile. You can put it in things like your eggs without even tasting it. You could put it in, you can make like protein pancakes without even tasting it. You can get smooth cottage cheese or chunky cottage cheese if it's a texture issue for you. You can just blend your cottage cheese if it's a texture issue for you. So there's ways to make it more enjoyable, and it is super versatile, and it mixes well with like sweet stuff, and mixes well in bakings and like pancakes and protein pancakes, things like that too. So it's a really versatile way to add protein. Something we've been doing lately is like scrambled eggs with any leftover meat we have, with cottage cheese in it. So it's like a protein powerhouse in these scrambled eggs, because we'll throw in enough cottage cheese that we don't really taste it. It kind of gives it like a creamy consistency, and then a bunch of vegetables and any like leftover chicken or anything we have from the night before, and right there you're getting like triple the amount of protein you would in a normal serving of food.
That's fantastic. Love
Cool.
it.
That's my tip. So while I've got you guys here, if you're listening to this, you're like, yeah, this is me, I need to take action. If your action is around any body composition changes coming into summer, and you want to see real sustainable change and do this properly, reach out to us and have that conversation. Whether or not you decide to work with us, honestly, that doesn't matter to me as much. Have the conversation with us. This is what we do. We help people set out a goal. We help people set a strategy in place and make it feel achievable. So obviously we'd love to have you guys come work with us, but if that's not in the cards for you, just reach out and have the conversation with us. Send us a DM, and we'll help put everything we said today into play for you. And then lastly, wherever you're listening to this, please do us a favor, take a screenshot, share it to Instagram, tag at Breaking90Fitness. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed today's episode.